Hello, I'm FX Toycat, and Minecraft Dungeons finally released to the world just a couple of days ago now, and as a result of that, we've seen a whole bunch of different opinions and reception from all over the internet, but an opinion I wasn't expecting to see was one directly from Notch, the creator of Minecraft himself. If you don't know, he sold the game and the company to Microsoft in 2014 for $2.5 billion. Since then, he's been somewhat critical of the fact that they included in-game currency that could be bought with real currency, even turning in his grave as a result of that, and basically, it was very interesting to see him play Minecraft Dungeons, and even more interesting after those previous controversies to see that he apparently did like it. However, things seemed to go pretty sour because Notch then tweeted, "Alright, I'm out," confirming that he was done with Minecraft Dungeons in just a short couple of hours. So today I wanted to share the full story as we know it of what exactly happened here, as well as the more interesting kind of sub-story of when a creator of some big franchise kind of dives back into it from an outsider perspective later, because that's what we're seeing today here with Notch and the Minecraft spin-off known as Minecraft Dungeons. But yeah, let's dive straight into it. Let's mention just very briefly that yeah, Notch has previously been very outspoken against the current Mojang management. He didn't seem to like the transition that happened after 2014, and he also really didn't like the in-game currency known as Minecoins that were added to Minecraft Bedrock. But what exactly was the controversy regarding Minecraft Dungeons? Because it's a super weird one. He said he was installing Minecraft Dungeons, he knew basically nothing about it, but he had a gut feeling that he'd like it. Do I do an honest review? What's the funniest / best part here? Asking his millions of Twitter followers what exactly he should do. A lot of people were excited about the idea of Notch playing a spin-off version of a game that he made, because obviously this is a Minecraft project he has zero to do with, but it's a spin-off, it's something big where the expectations are kind of high, so to see Notch's opinion would be pretty great, a lot of people think, and we even have a Minecraft developer, Ulraf, jumping on the train saying, like Minecraft, it's better together, get yourself a friend or free and squad up. Like Minecraft developers being supportive of his decision to try the game out and see what he thought. And then Notch said the default character should have been Steve, not Panda. Amazing intro though. Again, I actually agree with this one, that the fact that this Minecraft game has default characters that aren't Steve, a little bit offensive. Steve's all the way down there buried at the menu. Your character should be Steve by default, and you should pick a skin on top of that, but that's a really minor nitpick. I think everyone would agree. He says the game's introduction was amazing, and it is. There is some really good CGI cutscenes in this. And then the second piece of feedback he has is that his first impression after getting out of the tutorial is that he likes it, will play more, and probably might ramble a bit about it to entertain you. And so far, so good. He's got pretty much the same experience as everyone else, but then something really odd happens because Notch tweets saying, "Is this microtransactions I smell?" The reason that this is so odd is because Minecraft Dungeons does not have any microtransactions available inside of it, and even right now the DLC isn't officially announced. There are some skins that you can buy that are part of one of the pre-order editions, but otherwise there are no microtransactions in the game right now as it stands. But apparently this is no issue for Notch because he says, "Alright, I'm out, you tried," signaling that he's done with his Minecraft Dungeons experience. He ran into something that he thought was microtransactiony, and then he decided to jump right out of it. The only confirmation about what he thought was when he responded to someone who said that was fast, and he said that pandering and microtransactions, yeah, we've seen this before. And I thought that was a super bizarre confirmation that the reason he doesn't like Minecraft Dungeons, the reason he stopped playing a game that he said otherwise he was sure he would like, and that he did like the intro and tutorial of, was because of the microtransactions in the game, in a game that has, I want to remind you, no microtransactions or any plans for those microtransactions right now. So obviously this is a super weird thing that I wanted to talk about because it's big news in the Minecraft Dungeons world. I mean, they just launched a new game and it seems to not have the approval of the founder, but the fact that it's for this reason, again, something that isn't in the game, is perhaps a sign of why this opinion wasn't worth so much in the first place. I mean, it's been no secret that Notch has been a very controversial person in the 6 years since he sold Minecraft. I mean, a game that is famous for being, suitable for all ages, all ability types, and even all geographies. You'd be surprised as to how many players are in China and in South America. But the fact that a game which is like so open and available to everyone was created by someone who has been, accused many times of, whether it's transphobia or racism or alt-right conspiracy theories, the number of, links to things that you can point at to not just tweets in just the last 6 years, it's a really interesting, thing to see as someone goes from, humble indie developer to literal billionaire. And, across that time, we've seen a definite, seemingly, unhingedness in Notch. I mean, we've seen him mention many times how unhappy he is, or, his situations in life, etc. And, this kind of adds up to a situation where we have someone who obviously made Minecraft, but their role in it today should be mentioned as being very little, and this might be the biggest thing to point to that. So this whole video could go on the fact and mention that, like, if you are going to judge a game, if you're going to judge anything, please do it based on what the thing actually is, as opposed to judging it on what you feel like that thing is. I feel like we'd have a much more productive society if people hated things for real reasons, or if people disliked things for real reasons, as opposed to the ones they were told, or the ones they just feel are correct, you know? So many, YouTubers and so many people are hated just because they have the wrong feeling, and that's not how we should do things, in my opinion. But we could have a whole video about that, but instead, let's mention why exactly would anyone think there are microtransactions inside Minecraft Dungeons? Because usually when you hear this sort of comment where someone just makes up this crazy, unrelated criticism, it's from someone who you assume is under-intelligent, perhaps. But, you could assume that Notch, being a member of Mensa and making Minecraft itself, is probably not in that category. So what exactly, is it in the game that leads to this conclusion? And actually, the game does use mechanics which are often used in freemium games as a way to kind of cash in. And in case you're curious as what I mean by that, what would likely happen, because Notch like the tutorial, is at the end of every level, you get a big chest, and in that chest, you get a random piece of loot. You have no say of what that loot's going to be. Will it be an artifact? Will it be a sword? Will it be a bow? You have precisely no control, and again, it has that kind of loot box feel to it, where if you wanted to get something precise, you'd have to open up these boxes over and over again, which requires you right now to defeat levels, which takes, again, in the average case, about half an hour, and in the very fastest case, about 3 minutes to get one of these. In addition, in the game, there is an emerald currency, and these emeralds are used for pretty much the same thing. You can use them to trade with the blacksmith or with the wandering trader, and you can get a random piece of gear or artifact for your level. You can never precisely buy something that you want. You can only get random things appropriate for your level. So there is, the part of me that looks at this, as I've looked at many other games. I mean, let's be honest, like some games give strong microtransaction vibes and never have them. For instance, Super Mario Odyssey has 2 types of currency in the game, which is almost always a way of saying this currency is the terrible one you get for playing the game, and this is the good currency you get for actually buying the good stuff. It's the same with Animal Crossing New Horizons, in my opinion. I mean, they've got the Nook Bells or whatever, but they've also got the Nook Miles, which are only earned by specific tasks. They're harder to get, and they buy slightly cooler things. The dual currency thing is something that certain games do and never go into microtransactions, and the loot box thing is a thing that certain games do and never go into microtransactions, but there are games that have gone the other way with that. For instance, Call of Duty added loot boxes and said, yeah, no, there's not going to be a way to buy these, it's just a fun way to reward people randomly. But the reality is they can often be added to the game first, and then if people like the game, if people continue to play the game, then you can monetize it by adding in those, sneaky ways to buy those things. Because in fact, the way monetization in games works is almost, exclusively now, you launch the game first, and then you add more ways to monetize the players later. You get people invested first, and then later on, you can, start to monetize them. But the thing about Minecraft Dungeons is it doesn't have 2 currencies, and it doesn't have a clear way that I can see that they would be able to monetize this game at the very least. Again, there are only emeralds that you can get by playing. I wouldn't be willing to buy emeralds, even if they were crazy cheap, like 99 cents for 10,000 emeralds. Wouldn't be worth it, because you'd still be buying random things. Maybe they could have super rare loot boxes, but even then, people wouldn't be excited about that because it's so specific to your level that I can only conclude, looking at it logically, having played now 15-ish hours of the game, that there aren't going to be microtransactions in this, but I can see how in the first 20 minutes you get kind of vibes off it. But I think if you're going to be, tweeting out your opinion, if you know millions of people care about your opinion, it's probably a good idea to at least try and make sure that you're correct beyond 20 minutes of play. And the fact that Notch didn't do that here is something, which is going to stay on his record as like, well, if you want to see his opinion on future things, just bear in mind that it's going to be based on the impression of the thing and not the real thing itself. There are so many genuine issues that he could have pointed out with Minecraft Dungeons. I mean, for instance, one of the craziest bugs is right now, if you uninstall the game on PC, it uninstalls everything you have on that drive. This is a known issue. It's horrifying that it happens, but it's a real bug in Minecraft Dungeons. Be very careful. Don't uninstall the game from PC right now until they fix that, by the way. There are many serious things you can criticize, and some of these are like ludicrously big mistakes for a company as big as Microsoft to make. But overall, I would say it's kind of a weird thing that kind of cements this position of Notch as Minecraft's weird, creepy uncle, more than as of Notch as like the authoritative figure on how Minecraft should be. And maybe you think that's sad. Maybe you think that's already how things are. Maybe you never trusted his opinion in the first place, and you think it's been discredited. And maybe you think it's weird that this happens in the first place. But the reason that Notch's opinion on Minecraft, the reason that any game developer or really any creator who makes something and then sells it off, the reason their opinion is always going to be so interesting is because when you create something, clearly if you sell it, it means that your ability to monetize it was not as good as the people that you gave it to. Your whole impression was about either the art side or just making something that you cared about kind of side, and the bigger team, the hundreds of people employed by Microsoft working on Mojang, their perspective is obviously partly going to be about that. A lot of those people individually really do care about Minecraft and want it to be the best game. We see so many examples of Minecraft staff who care. I mean, Hell and Angels always the example I point to. But there are so many Minecraft staff who care about the game, making it better. Dinnerbone is another great public-facing example, or Cornerhard MC works on Minecraft Bedrock as maybe an equivalent. We have Minecraft developers and community managers, people who really care about the game, but also we have business people whose job it is to maximize the profits, and sometimes that comes at the expense of the game. Having the original person out there to say, hey, what's the deal with this, can be something that's valuable as a way to keep the subject matter, keep the art, keep the game pure to its original form, or the form that it was intended to be. It can also just be some form of meddling, and I feel like if used correctly, these interventions can be really great. But when they're not used so correctly, as indeed we saw when the creator of a game complained about microtransactions in one of its spin-offs, it weakens the opinion of that, and it weakens that as a method, and that's why I think this is a real shame. Not only is this a lot of misinformation, a lot of people aren't going to buy Minecraft Dungeons because of microtransactions that don't exist. I really need to clarify that one more time, and again, I can't see a world where they'd exist ever. It kind of weakens the opinion for the people who actually know what they're talking about, and instead just creates two cults: the cults that blindly believe, and the people who blindly follow the game itself, and that's not so good. Everyone having an informed opinion of everyone involved is the best way to make good games that everyone can enjoy, that everyone can play around with. I mean, I really like Minecraft Dungeons. Could there be improvements? Sure. Would I like to see those improvements aired in ways that aren't just complaining about non-existent features? Yes, I really would. I feel like there needs to be some form of competitive way to play this with friends, or something to keep you going after you beat the game on its hardest difficulty. And maybe they'll add that with DLC, maybe they won't. But the fact is that if you complain about the wrong things, it's like the boy who cried wolf, or as the example we always use is in streams, people say mic muted all the time, and then when your mic is muted, you don't believe people, so you can't fix it. The truth is that you can only complain about something so many times, and if you're going to complain, at least check that the things you're saying are actually true. And that's why it's also interesting to see someone's opinion on the stuff that they made, because obviously some people believe that the death of the author is true. Once you put something out into the world, it's not yours anymore, it's theirs. And personally, I think even Notch believes this, that the way Minecraft works is it's always going to be your game. Once you downloaded the game, it's yours. Do what you want with it. Ignore the story, ignore the microtransactions, ignore everything, and don't update it if you don't want to deal with all of those things. But for those who do want to see the progress of something, it's always an option. And that's why I feel like, for any other game or any other community, this could be like a big controversy that no one really knows what to do with. But the cool thing about the Minecraft world is it is the game where you get to decide precisely what to do. Do you want to, believe that the game needs to follow the original creator's vision perfectly all the way through? Do you believe that it can change entirely because you always have access to old versions, you can keep playing it? Or do you just think that, I don't care what's happening with the game, I just want to jump in with some friends and build a house just like good old times, once or twice a year? You can have literally whatever attitude you want towards Minecraft, and that is a good attitude for more of us to have towards the world. As a consumer, you're always going to be valuable. Your decision to do something, or lack thereof, is always going to be the most important thing that drives pretty much any behavior in the world, especially right now, and using that behavior for the best is a good thing. And I hope this video reminds you that you, as a consumer, actually have more power than even the original creator of the game series, which is now the best-selling game of all time itself. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, because this is a bit of a weird one, right, in my opinion. You can like this video if you did like it, you can share it if you really liked it, and you can subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you consider doing that subscribe thing, and even maybe being one of the 20% of people who turn on notifications. But either way, I hope you enjoyed it, because I'll see you later.